What's up? Hope all is well. Um, I am currently in Rochester, Minnesota. My mom has been talking about Mayo Clinic since I was in my early 20s, maybe my late teens. She always talked about Mayo Clinic and how Mayo Clinic was founded, and the quality of Mayo Clinic, and always anybody that would have any type of diagnosis or anything like that, she would always suggest them to go to. Oh, Mayo Clinic. That's too hot. Hold on, let me get another one. Hold on, y'all. All right. So yes, Mayo Clinic. So we're in Rochester, Minnesota, which is an hour and 30 minutes from Minneapolis. So, and I didn't know this at all. So we had to take a shuttle from Minneapolis to Rochester, Minnesota. I'm originally from Albany, New York, a small town. A lot of people may know about Rochester, New York. Uh, but yeah, I went to mass earlier today, uh, and she has appointments. She has appointments starting tomorrow and Tuesday. So we were here for that. And I'm blessed to be able to be here with her because she's excited that she's here. And shout out to um, where we're staying at. I'll tell y'all when we leave. And that's that. And that's it. I was able to take her to mass. We're Catholic, so I was able to take her to mass this morning. Hello, hey, Miss Denise. But yes, but I also see that our internet looks like it's working great here. So that might be because we're in a small town and the wireless, the high speed internet is really high speed. In Chicago, I feel like there is not high speed internet. I feel like because they got so many people that they are making the internet real slow on purpose because they're not paying the internet bill because Illinois is broke and the city of Chicago is broke. So they're trying to save. They're trying to nickel and dime everything, but they're really not. We're really not broke for real. For real, we just need these forensic audits, and that people need to start going to jail. But that's that. But yeah. Well, anyway, we're going to talk about a few things. The first thing we're going to start. I wanted to put this up. The mental health lakeside chat that's going to be Thursday, August 14th, with Lion as Mayor Brandon Johnson. And they're having a panelist, Golden Child, Taronda J from Empire. A lot of people know her from Empire. Joshua Johnson, moderator Dave Jeff, Jay Davis, and a special guest. It will be at Build Chicago, 5100 West Harrison, Chicago, Illinois. It says, join us for a powerful conversation, indulging mental health technology community and the future of Chicago's youth. And then they'll be discussing healing and a whole bunch of other bullshit. But this is basically Brandon Johnson pandering to now, I guess, try to get the young black youth involved because he knows it's over for him. And he's just trying to figure it out. So, but the only person that needs mental health in this is this man right here, Brandon Johnson, because all he does is lie all day. He's a piece of shit. He's going to be a piece of shit. And he knows he's a piece of shit. So I just wanted to discuss that. All right. So let's get into it. I did see this earlier, and I did want to say something about this. Hold on. All right. So yesterday, 7 people were shot at a house party in South Suburban Harvey, including a 4-year-old injured and suspect killed. In Harvey, Illinois, 7 people were shot, including a suspect who was killed and a 4-year-old boy who was injured at a house party Saturday night in South Suburban Harvey. A Harvey spokesperson says police responded to a shooting in the 14400 block of Des Plaines Street, where a house party was underway just after 8 p.m. According to spokesperson, 2 people arrived at the house party and opened fire on the gathering. Someone at the party with a concealed carry license then returned fire. One of the suspects was shot and pronounced dead at the scene, and the second suspect was injured and taken to the hospital in stable condition. The suspect is now in police custody. One of the shooting victims was a 4-year-old boy who suffered non-life-threatening injuries and currently listed in stable condition. Additionally, 4 party attendants were shot and all were taken to area hospitals and are also in stable condition. Terrence Sipkins, who lives in the area, told the scene was chaotic. A lot of police, a lot of ambulance, a lot of police laying down on the ground. It was a shame having to see something like that, especially over here, because we don't have a lot. Nothing happening here. It was a sad moment for this community. I guess a couple of guys came by to do something, and they ended up getting shot. Said he heard about 30 to 40 gunshots during the incident. Regardless of how many gunshots it was one too many for any community. A family member who did not wish to be identified or talk on the camera from the home with a CCL opened fire on the suspects, killing one and sending another one to the hospital. That's the best thing about exercising your rights, having FOID cards, and being able to protect your home. So they protected their home. Although police initially considered Saturday night's shooting an isolated incident, they're now looking into another shooting that occurred just before 5 a.m. in a 200 block of Calumet Boulevard, believed to be possible act of retaliation. At the scene, a man was found dead inside a minivan. A woman who lived near the scene asked to remain anonymous, but says she was jolted awake by the sound of gunshots and still shaken by what she saw outside her window. I woke up and it sounded like bullets were hitting the garbage cans. I heard at least 40 to 38. I don't know, a lot of rounds. Y'all gonna have to stop shooting. Like, I don't understand what the problem is. Like, Harvey, Illinois don't have barely anything. They try to take everything that they do have. So y'all gonna have to chill with that, and like, start sending these niggas to the military. Like, send these niggas to Palestine. You understand? These the free Palestine niggas. Like, at this point, if you going into Harvey and you plan on y'all shooting 30 to 40 rounds, y'all belong in Afghanistan somewhere. Like, y'all tension is too high and y'all crazy. And we need to stop doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all keep talking about the oppression, racism. You understand? We don't have this, we don't have that. Well, shit, we're shooting 30 and 40 rounds in Harvey, Illinois. And Harvey, Illinois already got about only 25 houses. You understand? They don't have no grocery store. They have interest that it opens up every once in a while. Like, they're paying crazy property taxes out there, which makes no sense. Chris Clark is a fucking criminal. They're holding people against their will. Harvey police is already fucked up. Like, come on, man. Like, we gotta do better. Okay? While y'all doing shit like that, University of Chicago is moving in Harvey, Illinois, trying to take the rest. While y'all shooting 30 and 40 rounds. We have to do better. We must do better. All right. Now, let's get into it. All right. So, what's up, Mo? Nice seeing you. Hope all is well with you, my king. There's only a few real niggas out here. Maurice happens to be one of them. All right. Now, hope you guys can see this. So, as you see, the state government, good old Pritzker, raised its own pay 50%, 57% faster than the taxpayers who fund the government are able to afford. This is wildly unstable. All right. Last Friday, Governor J.B. Pritzker signed a bill that quietly adds $11 billion in liabilities to Chicago's already collapsing pension system. Pritzker approved the pension sweetener bill, a financial gift to select retirees that drastically worsens Chicago's already worst in the nation local pension crisis. The bill was signed quietly, buried in a Friday news dump to avoid backlash. So a lot of people really don't know about this, but the real ones do. Well, I'm not saying real ones as far as the fake news that did not put it out there so the people who are real news, like Illinois Policy and some others, had discussed it. Chicago pensions are already underfunded by tens of billions. This bill adds another $11 billion to the debt load. Expect another credit downgrade for the city, which means higher borrowing costs, fewer services, and more taxes down the line. This bill is not reform, it's a payoff to political insiders, union deals, and legacy hacks. Who pays for this? We do. Working families, homeowners, small businesses, all will get hit with higher property taxes, budget cuts, and service slashes. Meanwhile, the elites, the boo-boo, and their pensions are protected. Now, this is why it's corrupt, right? So Pritzker and Springfield Democrats refused real reform, no structural changes, no new funding sources, just more borrowing from the future to pay off the past. This is financial malpractice, and they know it. That's why they dumped it on a Friday without thinking anybody was going to talk about it. Now, as the founder of Chicago Flips read, I demand financial accountability, right? So no more secret deals, no more passing the bill to our children. We support real pension reform that protects retirees without bankrupting the city. So it's time for, you already know, transparency, taxpayer protection, and bold, responsible leadership that we do not have. All right. So that is a big problem. All right. A big problem. That piece of doo-doo Governor Pritzker bitch ass did. All right. Now, get next thing up. I forgot to put this up. Hope everybody's doing well on this good Sunday. Okay, it's real sad out here, man. It's real sad. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Hold on, yeah. All right. Because y'all think that she, you know what? I don't even think she's a bad looking woman, but because she's a puppet to this Democratic shit, and that's the problem. All right. What's up, Kaylin? All right. All right. So as y'all know, CTU, which is a criminal organization, and who's the president, the puppet president that they had to put a black woman there. They put Stacey Davis Gates. So, CTU plans to take over Illinois schools one district at a time. They're not just coming for Chicago. They're coming for for your town next. Chicago Teachers Union Vice President Jackson Potter just made it plain. Okay, let me make sure I got it. I love to put a picture of that piece of doo-doo. Now I'm trying to tell you, they're gonna try to put Stacey Davis Gates up to be the mayor of Chicago. Like they crashing out. As long as I know you see the Democratic Party is crashing out. They crashing out real. It's kind of bad. I mean, it's not even bad. It's depressing at this point. All right. Now this is the person who's really running. He runs Brandon Johnson. He runs Stacey Davis Gates. Yeah, he is the puppet master, Jackson Potter. Jackson Potter, Harry Potter's cousin. He runs this. Who runs CTU? Jackson. Who runs CTU? Jackson. Yes. Who runs the kids? Jackson. Who runs the kids? Jackson. Yes. All right. Now, Chicago Teachers Union Vice President, which is the real president, just made it plain. CTU wants to expand its militant agenda beyond Chicago and infiltrate 52 school districts across Illinois this year through union contract negotiators. Potter visit Granite City, nearly 300 miles from Chicago, to promote CTU's coalition-based tactics. He's pushing the unions bargaining for the common good strategy, forcing schools to negotiate over racial justice, climate change, immigration, and other political issues not related to education. CTU isn't staying in its lane. It wants to turn school contracts into political battlegrounds across Illinois. They're using your kids' education to push radical school agendas, not to improve reading, writing, or math. We got to follow the money, y'all. We have to follow the money. CTU got 60% of IFT affiliate spending in 2024, even though most members aren't in Chicago. CTU President Stacey Davis Gates, the puppet, plagued by scandals, is also Executive Vice President of IFT, International Federal. The same union trying to penetrate your school board. This isn't union solidarity. It is hostile political takeover of local education systems. What parents and leaders must do? If I was a parent, I would get my child out of CPS so fast and homeschool. And if you need help finding a teacher, please contact me, because there's plenty of educators on the do not hire list that should not be on the do not hire list, but because they spoke out because of the injustices and the corruption that's happening in CPS and CTU, they had to silence them in some type of way, and that's putting them on the do not hire list. And you can't get any help from our coon-ass mayor because he is part of the bullshit as well. Now, if you're in one of the 52 districts negotiating contracts this year, here's your warning. Watch for outside organizers pushing CTU-style demands. Demand transparency in negotiations, push back on non-education demands in teacher contracts, organize locally, don't let Chicago politics dictate your district's future, and also start filing lawsuits, because what they're doing is unlawful. But also take your child out of CPS or any of these school districts that these 52 people are trying to come and fuck over. Okay, these are devils. He looks like a devil right here. He knows he's a devil. He probably fucks children. Okay, that's what they like to do. Okay, it's big business in this weird ass agenda that these people are doing. Now, locals down, and when it comes to Chicago flips red in our stance. Sorry. Local schools should reflect local values, not Chicago's broken system. CTU's radicalism has failed students in Chicago's. Now they want to export that failure statewide. And we say, hell no. And from Zoe, the founder, take your kids out of these schools that have any of these type of curriculums or agenda when it comes to CTU or any of these weird ass teachers union, because they don't care about the children. Okay, they don't give a fuck. Okay, this isn't about education anymore. It's about power. They don't care. Okay, they don't want to teach the children anything. Okay, these are sick devils. These are bastards. Okay, all right, stand up before it reaches your district. That's my best advice that I can give to you parents out here, because this piece of shit right here doesn't care about your kids, Jackson Potter, and he's running Brandon Johnson. And as you see, Brandon Johnson is a complete failure. And this lady right here is also a complete failure. So two black ass complete failures. All because this man right here who is running all of them. Yes, the Democratic Party, the Chicago way. All right. Do-do-do. Right. Let's go to the next. All right. Now we got next. 5 years later, CTA, Metra, and Pace still can't get it together. But they want $1.15 billion more of your money anyway. The Chicago Region's transit system, CTA, Metra, and Pace, are still 30% below pre-COVID ridership. Yet, instead of adjusting their budgets or streamlining operations, they want taxpayers to cough up $1.5 billion more. So what is the problem? The problem is riders aren't coming back, okay? And they're not coming back because A, they're never on time. B, they are the most incompetent, unprofessional people that drive these buses, okay? Number two is it's ghetto. CTA, Pace, it's ghetto. It's real live ghetto. And the person who was the CEO that they finally got rid of, he didn't care, okay? And that's just what it is. But they still don't care. And that's it. I ride CTA. I cannot stand CTA. And it's ghetto. It's just ghetto. It's fucking ghetto. Okay, that's really the main reason. I would not come back either. Okay, They have money. They don't. It doesn't care. That's just what the real problem is. But riders aren't coming back. Hybrid works is here to stay. Okay, that's what they're trying to say. But no, it's ghetto. All right. Labor costs are exploding. CTA labor costs alone will increase by $300 million from 2021 to 2026. Over half of CTA's employees aren't even on the front lines. They work in administration and management. Ridership is down, services are inconsistent, but spending is out of control because all they do in these departments is launder money all day. Where's your money? The Regional Transportation Authority is asking for a $1.5 billion bailout without a plan to fix a long-term structural deficit. Now, y'all just spent $1 billion to extend that red line out south so the niggas can get further and further so y'all can take the city away and give it to whoever y'all want to give it to with the help of these no good ass, coon ass politicians. And y'all spent $1 billion on that. Now y'all need another $1 billion, more, almost $2 billion, $2 billion. That's what y'all need. Now, meanwhile, Governor No Good Ass Pritzker handed out 19% raises to state workers, locked in regardless of economic conditions. Because why should he? Why should he? Because y'all keep voting this piece of shit in anyway. Because y'all just can't do red. I just can't do red. So I'm just going to keep voting for these pieces of shit Democrats in the city of Chicago, in the state of Illinois. From 2023 to 2026, state union AFSCME raises will outpace private sector raises by 51%. You're getting squeezed at the pump, the grocery store, and your property tax bill to subsidize failing agencies and inflated salaries. What are we fucking doing, Illinois? What are we doing, Chicago? Why are we dealing with this abuse? Why? All right. You don't have to answer. Just think about it. Union members don't even back their own union. AFSCME claims to represent 90,000 plus public employees, but over 1 in 3 aren't even due paying members. Even government workers are starting to see the grift and waste and are walking away. So my message to y'all, you don't reward failure with more money. We need accountability before handouts. Transit needs reform, not another blank check. You can't keep funding empty trains with full wallets. Cut the bloats, cut the administration, serve the people, or step the fuck aside. It's time to demand that, what I've always said, a forensic audit. We need audits. That's what. And we need an audit of CTA. We need an audit of Metra. We need an audit of PACE. It's time for performance-based budgeting. It's time to say no to another $1.5 billion in the hole. Yeah. Nigga, it's time. We have to stop. We really got to stop. We got to stop playing ourselves. We really do. We really do. All right. We really got it. We have to. All right. Now, as you know, the Illinois economy Thanks again. All right, down 2.2% in early 2025, one of the worst in the US. Illinois just posted a 2.2% drop in GDP from January to March of 2025, the ninth worst in the country and over 4 times worse than the national average. This isn't just a fluke, it's a clear warning that Illinois is sinking, and it's our communities that are paying the price. Since 2009, national GDP grew 15.1%. Illinois GDP just 5.2%, the fourth worst in the country. Hey, Ms. Diane, in Q1 of 2025, we got slammed in agriculture, utilities, finance, and insurance. These sectors are supposed to be strengths for Illinois. Instead, they're red flags. What this means for Illinois families: harder to pay your rent, mortgage, or credit cards, fewer jobs, slower wage growth, more defaults and bankruptcies. It's not just the numbers on a report. This is people's real life stability on the line. Why this is happening? Because Illinois politicians, especially under Governor piece of shit Pritzker, put your man out here. That's just so funny. Because he's really a piece of shit. Meet J.B. Pritzker. I'm gonna read this real quick because it is funny. Hi, Miss Bridget. How are you doing? Oh, it was so nice meeting you the other day. Thank you for the kind words. I definitely appreciate them. I meant to say something to you the other day. You had posted something, so I definitely appreciate you. I can't believe I put this nigga in office. Well, I can, but I can't. You know, like what I'm saying. It don't matter. As long as you got some money to be in the game, you don't have to say anything that makes any sense. You know, this nigga think they talking about something. He's looking at President 2028. They go, what? Who? I can't wait to I gotta do a nice YouTube on that. This piece of doo doo. Right. But yeah, this nigga right here, a piece of shit. Listen, somebody said, meet J.B. Pritzker, the actual billionaire who just dissed Trump at the DNC. The Illinois governor's net worth comes from his family, Hyatt fortune, and his own private equity firm. And yes, also from family court because he's into the sex trafficking and human trafficking and children trafficking too. Pritzker is one of the heirs to the Hyatt Hotels fortune and the co-founder of private equity firm Pritzker Group. His estimated net worth is about $3.5 billion. He called out Donald Trump and current Republican nominee at the Democratic National Convention, where Kamala Harris officially accepted the Democratic presidential nomination. Donald Trump thinks that we should trust him on the economy because he claims to be very rich, but take it from an actual billionaire. Trump is rich in only one thing: stupidity. Woo! And guess what? They said the 59-year-old told the cheering audience on day 2 of the DNC, the paid audience. I was there. And he funded that whole DNC. They really thought they had it in the bag because they thought they was going to have that Indian lady be the president of the United States of America. That's crazy. But anyway, getting back to this piece of shit. He is the cartel. You're absolutely right, baby. This nigga right here. All right. Now, because Illinois politicians, especially under Pritzker's leadership, have mismanaged the budget for years, driven up the nation's highest state and local tax burden, handed out massive union raises and pensions we can't afford, created a hostile environment for businesses and investors. Over 10 major headquarters have left since 2020. Caterpillar, Boeing, Tyson, TTX, Citadel, gone. Illinois is ranked the 7th most at-risk state in the next recession. We still have 4.6% unemployment rate, worse than the national average. Now, this is all Democrats. It don't have nothing to do with the current administration on the federal level. This don't have nothing to do with Trump and his previous. This is all Illinois. This is all the Democratic Party, because the Democratic Party is one big ass corrupt nonprofit that all they do is just steal, lie, play victim, don't have no results, don't have no solutions, and they've been using the oppression thing for so long when it came to niggas, and we've allowed it for so long that now all the real stuff is coming out because you got a man who broke the establishment on both sides. And that's Donald J. Trump. All right. What's the plan from Springfield? Tax you more, spend more, and blame on someone else. And right now, they're currently blaming Trump for everything that they're doing. Okay, the jig is up. Now, coming from CFR, Chicago Flip Red, the common sense solutions, I believe, is cap spending to match economic growth, cut waste and bloated administrative costs, use surplus funds to lower taxes, not grow government, slash regulations that strangle small businesses and entrepreneurs such as myself, make Illinois a place that rewards work, not punishes it. Okay? We want businesses to come here. We want workers to come here. We're welcoming. We're supposed to be a welcoming city for businesses, for people who would like to work, families, people who want to come to Chicago and give back, want to doesn't mind paying taxes here because they're giving back for the right reasons, and they want to make Chicago the best city that it really is. It just can't come from these two people who have no idea what to do. Three. Everybody that's in office, they all need to be removed, honestly. Illinois has the tools, location, infrastructure, talent. What it lacks is leadership with courage and discipline. Yeah, yes. That's why Chicago Flips Red is here to lead with common sense, not political self-preservation. All right. Now, what's up, Latanya? I see you. I see you, little baby. I see you, little Tanya. Red light cameras targeting the south side as usual. I guess y'all think that's Trump fault too, that y'all keep getting these red light camera tickets, but it's not. Okay. Now, red light cameras targeting the south side, profiting from poverty because they need to figure out how to get the money, right? So let's go over to the south side and the west side and predominantly any black neighborhoods, because we're not going to go down there and fight. We're just going to accept the shit and then just say, this is just how Chicago is. You can't win here. I'm just going to leave. Da, da, da. 3 times more tickets per intersection on the south side. And for what? Revenue. From June 2024 to May 2025, the red light cameras in Chicago's south side issued more than triple the number of tickets per intersection compared to the north side. Okay, less traffic, more fines, same corruption. South side, 900. The south side had 9,692 tickets per intersection. North side, just 3,069 tickets per intersection. South side has only 7 red light cameras, yet they're issuing tickets like they're on steroids. Citywide revenue, $56.5 million in tickets last year alone. That's over 500,000 fines, not counting late fees. Not South. What's the worst offender? Not South Side. Ironically, it's Lakeshore and Belmont, and the North Side Lakeview, racking up $1.79 million in fines from one camera. But make no mistake, per camera, the South Side is being disappropriated hit. Okay. Do red light cameras even improve safety? No. Absolutely. I said per camera, the south side is being hit badly. We're going to say badly. All right. A Case Western study found that they might reduce T-bone collisions, but they increase rear end crashes by 18%. Also, an investigator showed many cameras were installed in already safe intersections. This is not about safety. This is about money, and Chicago's poor and working class residents are footing the bill. Who's getting hit the hardest? According to ProPublica, red light cameras hit Black and Latino neighborhoods twice as hard as white areas. These cameras act like taxes on the poor, taking 100 to 200 per violation after just for a split-second delay. And when speed camera revenue dropped, what Brandon Johnson do? He broke his promise to eliminate them and added 50 more cameras to collect 11.4 million in new fines. So while he's out there lying to people like he was on Rainbow Push on Wednesday, was that Wednesday? Yeah, on Wednesday, lying to them kids and stuff about what he's doing for the black community and how he's doing this and how he's creating this and how he's creating this. He forgot to tell them that he added 50 more cameras to collect $11.4 million in new fines. He forgot that part. Okay. So, but that's Sean Mayer. So, our position is to end the red light and speed cameras scam, because that's what the fuck it is. It's a scam. Okay, and audit and remove cameras from low-income areas immediately, refund drivers, and stop punishing poverty. Because come on, fam. Come on. But y'all keep voting for these pieces of shit, especially y'all aldermen. Y'all aldermen will come down there, will go into, will tell y'all something totally different in the hood, but be downtown talking totally different. Like William Hall in the 6th Ward. I don't care what he talking about, demolition, dismiss, something else. He did something in the 6th Ward. He doing all this extra shit because you know your man is Brandon Johnson, who is some shit, and you keep trying to cap for this man. You're going to lose. Like, nigga, you vote in every way terrible when it comes to the 6th Ward downtown. So you're not doing nothing. The voting is downtown. And you do anything that Brandon Johnson tells you to vote on. Brandon Johnson is a loser ass nigga. And you are too. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what you are. R&B singer, a pastor. You ain't no politician. You ain't for the people. Now, if this happened on the north side, they call it a scandal. But on the south side, they call it policy. I call it legalized extortion. That's basically what that is. All right? All right. All right. Wow, them red light cameras. This nigga's just saying anything. Said our insurance going up, our car insurance and everything going up. These illegals that Alexi Giuliani, whatever that nigga name is, that's trying to run for mayor, they say, and Pritzker and anybody else gave these illegals driver license, and they crashing cars because they don't know how to fucking drive. That's why they're really going up. That's the real problem. On the taxpayer dollar, Mitch. On the taxpayer dollar. You're right about that, King. All right. Now, this piece of shit right here, Brandon motherfucking Johnson. Springfield just shoved Chicago $11.1 billion deeper in debt. And Pritzker makes it law unless we stop it. The last minute moves, Springfield lawmakers passed HB 3657, a pension sweetener that would add 11.1 billion liabilities to already failing police and fire pensions in Chicago. This is financial insanity, it's reckless, it's political, and it's coming straight out of your pocket. What HB 3657 actually does, it increases final salary calculation post Chicago police, inflating pensions through end of career pay spikes, raises the pensionable salary cap from 127,000 to 141,000, and ties future raises to full inflation instead of half. Restore the Tier 1 style perks caused the pension crisis in the first place, adds benefits for surviving family members without accounting for how to pay for them. This means bigger payouts without new funding. And the reason why they're doing this is because it's about to be election time and they need all the unions, and they know the police is done with them as well. You understand? So, and they know that they are failing the CTU. See, they know CTU is failing. They know SEIU is pretty much done. These unions are pretty much done because they watched for the first time in history that usually the unions will back the Democratic Party. And this year, well, last year with the election, this was the first time in history that no unions backed any party because they all were for Trump. So because of that, they are trying to, the firefighter in Chicago, the firefighters for sure have been down there fighting to get a raise. I watched them my whole time fighting for my mom property in the situation. I watched the union guy from the union organizer, the person who is the president of the firefighters union. I see him go down there fighting for it, to the point that one time he linked up with CTU. That's how bad he was trying to get the firefighters their raise. Also, they put out a statement about how they had no confidence in the firefighter superintendent or president. Her last name is Nance, but they had no confidence in her getting working with them to get the raise. And then you had the union president of CPD, John, come down there a lot about stuff that they owed the police officers when it came to unions and stuff. So they're trying to push everything and do whatever. So that is why they're willing to break the workers, break the taxpayers to try to finally give Chicago and Chicago police and the firefighters pensions. I raised their pensions now because they know that they have no chance. The Democratic Party is pretty much done, so they're pulling out every stop when it comes to that, and they're taking it to Springfield because he's pretty much done. This nigga has messed up all of Chicago and the little bit of confidence that the little bit of confidence that people have in Pritzker is starting to come to light too, because again, all of these people are unqualified. I don't care. He could sit and talk. Pritzker wish he was half the man that Trump is when it comes to running business. When it comes, you were just an heir for the Hyatt. They don't even recognize you. They don't even support you. You couldn't even the Hyatt wasn't even used to make a bunch of money off of this illegal immigration scam. Like, you ain't shit, just like your cousin who turned into a trans. She ain't shit either, because it's about power for y'all. It ain't about anything else. Y'all both sick. And that's why they don't even really rock with your dumb ass like that. So you're trying to hold on to what you have, because Pritzker, no one fucks with you. No one fucks with you, and you're a fat racist. Okay, good African American. So that's that, and that's what it's been on. You know, these people, they think it's a game. You know what I'm saying? These are actors. You know, these are actors and been actors, and we just was not up the way that, you know, we weren't voting, we weren't doing these things, so they just was saying and doing anything and thinking that it was okay, and all they could say is just don't vote red, because if you vote red, they're going to take your they're gonna what's it gonna say? They're gonna take your Section 8, and they're gonna take your Section 8, they're gonna take your Medicaid. That's all we're good for. That's all niggas is good for. On a business, fuck businesses, fuck getting our homes, fuck private. We're just Section 8, Medicaid, and food stamps. That's what they're telling us. If we don't, we have to vote, we have to keep voting red, because they're going to take that away. And if they take that away, what are you going to do? What are you going to do if they take your Medicaid and everything away? What are they going to do? You know what I'm saying? You can't vote for Republicans, because Republicans is going to leave you out here homeless, even though the rate of the homeless rate is getting higher in all of these blue cities, because they literally have brought in our replacement, and because they need these votes. They don't care about nothing else, because they see a lot of us are waking up and done with the Democratic Party, so they got to get it however they can, okay, by any means necessary, okay. And it's game on. It's game on. They sick. They sick, y'all. They are sick. All right. Get to my man right here. Danny old ass Davis, and that his cane stick is finally getting the fuck up out of office. Danny Davis got to be one of the oldest coons that still kept the coon shit going. Danny Davis finally decided that he was going to step down. About time, because at the end of the day, if Danny Davis did not want to step down at fucking 83, this thing was born September 6, 1941. Okay, and anytime now, I went to Danny Davis. In the DC. You got people that work in his DC office. They couldn't do shit. They couldn't do shit here in Chicago. They just can't. He just was in there as a placeholder. Danny Davis, born September 6, 1941, is an American politician serving as the U.S. representative for Illinois 7th Congressional District since 1997. I was 11 years old. The district includes much of western Chicago as well as the Loop. It also encompasses several of Chicago's inner western suburbs, such as Bellwood, Oak Park, and River Forest. Davis is a Democrat and a member of Congressional Do Nothing Black Caucus, and a former member of the Democratic Socialists of America. This nigga just was signing up for anything. Okay, his old ass. On July 31st, thank God. Thank you, Jesus. His old ass announced he would not seek re-election anymore. Okay? He was born in Parkdale, Arkansas, and educated at Arkansas Agriculture, Mechanical, and Normal College, now the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. He has a bachelor in arts and history. Okay. Then he went to Chicago State University and got his master's in guidance and hasn't guided shit. Okay. And the Union Institute and University of Cincinnati, Ohio, he also got a PhD. Oh my God. He's a doctor and didn't do a Davis worked as a government clerk, a high school teacher, executive director of the Greater Lawndale Commission, director of training at the Martin Luther King Neighborhood Health Center, and executive director of the Westside Health Center before entering politics. He should have stayed right there. He represented Chicago's 29th Ward on the Chicago City Council from 1979 to 1990. This nigga was an alderman too? Oh my God. Davis challenged U.S. Representative Curtis Collins in Democratic primaries in 1984 and 1986, but lost both races. In 1990, he unsuccessfully challenged Edward J. Roswell for the Democratic nomination for Cook County Treasurer. Also in 1990, Davis was elected to the Cook County Board of Commissioners. Oh my God, he was a commissioner too, serving from 1990 to 1990. This nigga just been through all of everything and hasn't done shit. Davis also waged an unsuccessful campaign against Chicago Mayor Richard Daley in the 1991 Democratic mayor primary. Davis was elected to the Cook County Board of Commissioners for Chicago at large in 1990 when the board transitioned district elections in 1994. He was elected to its first district. Entering Congress in 1997, Davis left the Cook County Board of Commissioners. He desired to see Illinois State Senator Earlene Collins appointed his successor on the board, but party leaders instead chose Darlena Williams Burnett, executive assistant of Jesse White and the wife of, well, he's not an alderman anymore, but Walter Ain't Shit Burnett Jr. Collins challenged and unseated Williams Burnett in the Democratic Party for the seat in 1998. I bet. And then they went and put Darlena over in CHA to help start stealing shit for her no good ass husband. On December 6, 1995, Davis announced his candidacy for the 7th Congressional District, adding his name to the already announced Democratic candidates, including Alderman Percy Giles, Cook County Board of Commissioner member Bobby Steele, Alderman Ed Smith, and Alderwoman Dorothy Big Hat Tillman. 5 other Democratic candidates entered the race later: S. Mendenhall, Joan Sullivan, G. Winbush, Anthony Travis, and Joan Powell, making it the largest field of candidates for U.S. Congress in Illinois in 1996. Davis lived a block outside the district but was familiar in it. Davis ran on a progressive Democratic platform popular in the district. He was pro-choice and supported gay rights, the era, single-payer health care, and some federal support for child nutrition and care. He said, yeah, give me the works. Whatever that's going to get me in there, yeah, I'll sell it. Yeah, what gay rights, I'll support whatever it is. Just give me the works, the Democratic works to get up in this bitch. In early January 1996, the FBI revealed its Operation Shovel, which included an investigation into Alderman Giles. He probably snitched, y'all. What Operation Silver Shovel may have done to undermine Giles' chances for election are unclear, as he was already lagging with a mere 3% among likely Democratic primary voters in mid-December poll compared to Davis' 33%. Smith's 8%, Big Hat Tillman 7%, and Steele 6%. But Giles did have Mayor Richard Daley's support and the other well-known area figures, some who continued to support during the controversy. On March 10, 1996, during a radio debate hosted by WMAQ-AM, Big Hat Tillman and Smith called for Davis to reject the endorsement of former alderman candidate Wallace Snitch-Ass Gator Bradley, spokesman for convicted gangster disciple leader Larry Hoover. I'm pretty sure that now, I'm just going to do this one more time. On March 10th, 1996, during a radio debate hosted by WMAQ-AM, Big Hat Tillman and Smith called for Davis to reject the endorsement of former alderman candidate Wallace Snitch-Ass Gator Bradley, spokesman for convicted gangster disciple leader Larry Hoover. This man, Larry Hoover, free my man Larry Hoover, and please get my man Wallace. Wallace Gator Bradley snitched. And he probably snitched on Larry Hoover. Okay? And Gator never thought in a million years that Donald Trump was going to pardon Larry Hoover on the federal level. So now that he's a state level, he's in state now. Governor Pritzker has to pardon Larry Hoover. But he will not do that. And when someone asks, glory to be God, glory to God, God to be the glory, Gator, bitch ass, snitch ass, Bradley, they asked, was he going to talk to Governor Pritzker about pardoning Larry Hoover, because he was his spokesman, his right hand. He was a lieutenant, okay, before he snitched on my man. But that's a whole nother story. Anyway, he said that he gonna just pray for him. So then through 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, Wallace, snitch ass Gator Bradley, posted that he is endorsing Governor Pritzker as the governor. Now, if that ain't no bullshit, I don't know what is. Let's get back to the story. Why do you keep badgering me with this question? Davis replied. You got a problem with something? You're not going to catch me going around saying I hate Gator Bradley. I'm not in the business of disavowing individuals. The good Lord said he hated sin, but not sinners. I'm not hating Gator Bradley. I disagree with those who commit crime and those who use drugs, but you don't catch me going around saying I hate Gator Bradley. Davis never rejected Bradley's endorsement during the campaign, and after winning the primary claim that Bradley's endorsement played no role in the outcome, though Bradley's asserted the contrary. During the campaign, Tillman, Big Hat Tillman, highlighted comments Davis made in August 1970 issue Ebony. The white female often gives the black man certain kinds of recognition that the black woman often does not give him. The Davis campaign countered that Davis was speaking as a psychologist in this role as a training director at a health center. And it's crazy that Big Hat Tillman got something to say, because how her daughter is over there scamming people at the Harold Washington Culture Center. She shouldn't say anything. And also, Tillman, you wasn't shit as an alder person. And that's why Pat Dow got you the fuck up out of there. Now, although Davis was fully promoted as a Democratic candidate, he also ran as a new party candidate, supporting this new party celebration of him as the first new party member elected to the U.S. Congress. Although the state of Illinois did not permit fusion voting, New Party advocated as means to promote itself and its agenda and to project new party ideology into the Democratic Party. Candidates were called new party Democrats and required to sign a contract mandating a visible and active relationship with New Party. During this time, New Party was experiencing substantial growth. Davis also was endorsed by this is when they started filling it out, y'all. He was also endorsed by Chicago Democratic Socialists of America, of which he had been a member since before his congressional run. Acorn, AFL-CIO, Sierra Club, and the International Brotherhood of Teamsters also endorsed David. In March 20th, Democratic primary, David received more votes than the two closest candidates, Big Hat Tillman and Smith combined. The first 5 announced candidates all received more than twice as many votes as the 5 late entering candidates, with none of the latter receiving more than 2,700. In November 5th general election, Davis defeated Republican Randy Barrow and third-party candidates Chauncey Stroud, Toyota Dixon, and Charles A. Winter, with over 82% of the votes. Davis expressed interest in replacing John Stroger on the ballot in the 2006 race for president of the Cook County Board. Stroger's son, Todd Stroger, was selected. In late 2008, Davis expressed his interest in being President Barack Obama's replacement in the U.S. Senate before Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich's scandal erupted. In December 31st, 2008, Davis said that he turned down an offer from Blagojevich representatives to appoint him to the Senate. Instead, Blagojevich appointed Roland Burris. Davis ran for mayor of Chicago a second time in 2011, but withdrew from the election and endorsed Carol Moseley Braun. In the 2020 Democratic Party presidential primaries, Davis endorsed Kamala Harris. He later endorsed Joe Biden ahead of the Iowa caucus. So yes. His old ass is out of there, right? So, my fault. Finally, after 30 years, Congress Danny Davis is stepping down at age 3. He called it a great time to pass the torch. But let's be real, the district's been neglected, the corruption's been rampant, and our people haven't seen progress they deserve. This nigga been in there since 1997. So, he endorsed LaShawn Ford. I think I got a picture of my man. Maybe I forgot to put my man. So yeah, he and let's get my man out here. Represent your. He accomplished absolutely nothing, Deborah. Nothing at all. I will say that. So this is LaShawn Ford, y'all. All right. And he endorsed LaShawn Ford, which I was pretty sure that he was. I know that LaShawn Ford said that he was retiring and he was going to run for Danny Davis' seat, but he said that if Danny Davis did not step down, he still was going to run, that he was just going to retire from. He was going to retire from politics. So I wasn't surprised when when Danny Davis endorsed him. So LaShawn Ford was born February 28, 1972. He's an American politician who was a Democratic member of the Illinois House of Representatives, representing the 8th District since 2007. The district includes west side of Chicago and suburbs of Oak Park, Burn, North Riverside, Forest Park, Proviso Township, Brookfield, LaGrange Park, LaGrange, and Western Springs. Ford was a candidate for Chicago mayor in the 2019 election. He is currently running for the United States House of Representatives in Illinois' 7th Congressional District in the 2026 election. He was born in Chicago's Cabrini Green housing. He grew up in the Austin community of Chicago. His family moved to the Austin community when he was 2 years old, so he wasn't raised in the Cabrini Green housing projects. Ford has never met his father. His mother was an unwed teen, and he was adopted by his grandmother at birth. Ford attended Lady Help of Christians Catholic Elementary School and graduated from Weber High School. After high school, Ford attended Niles College Seminary, contemplating becoming a priest. He received a Bachelor of Arts in Elementary Education with a minor in political science from Loyola University of Chicago. He played basketball while at Loyola. He also attended the University of Illinois, Chicago. Ford became a history teacher and basketball coach for Chicago Public Schools at Bridge Elementary School on Northwest Side. Later, he became a licensed Illinois real estate broker and became the founder of Ford Desire Real Estate in 2001. He served as a member of the Chicago and National Association of Realtors, board members of the Austin YMCA, board member of Circle Family Care, board member of Austin Chamber of Commerce, founding organizer of Zawadi Youth Group, and member of St. Martin de Porres Catholic Church Parish Council and Finance Committee. Ford worked as a Democratic precinct captain in the neighborhood where he grew up. Ford was first elected to the Illinois House of Representatives in 2007, defeating Calvin Giles in the Democratic primary and winning the general election with 83% of the vote. Rep. Ford is an outspoken advocate for constituents. Rep. Ford is focused on social justice and disparities in employment, education, and the healthcare system. He also worked to increase opportunities for ex-offenders, foster small business developments, improve access to affordable housing, expand protections for our veterans, safeguard our environment, and address our state's fiscal health. LaShawn is a national leader in social justice and civil rights issues. He believes in preserving communities, helping ex-offenders re-enter society, and shining the sacred right to vote. He created a commission to confront economic problems that still plague Black communities, as well as distressed counties and communities task force, which finds innovative ways to help people who receive state social services and serves as a national model for a successful anti-poverty agenda. Throughout his career, Ford has chaired a number of committees: appropriations, higher education, financial institutions, restorative justice. Ford's committee assignments are Appropriations Committee on Elementary and Secondary Education, Appropriations Committee on Human Service, Insurance, Property and Casualty, Tourism, Hospitality and Craft Industries, and Veteran Affairs. Ford is a member of the Medical Managed Care Oversight Task Force to monitor how the state approaches and manages a new form of health care delivery system based on managed care models, particularly for people with disabilities and the elderly. He is also a member of the Violence Prevention Task Force, and the Violence Prevention Task Force seeks to increase awareness of resources, jobs, and opportunities to prevent violence and assist violence prevention groups and other social institutions in providing safe places for those at risk of violence. From 2006 until 2012, Ford has received $16,000 in campaign contributions from labor unions. This included $3,500 from AFL, $2,650 from AFSDME, $200 from Illinois Education Association, $2,500 from Illinois Federation of Teachers, $7,000 from the Chicago's Teaching Union, and $1,000 from Service Employees International Union. In 2020, Ford voiced support to for the abolition of history classes in Illinois schools, claiming that current history teaching practices overlook the contributions by women and members of the Black, Jew, LGBTQ communities and other groups, and until a suitable alternative is developed, we should instead devote greater attention towards civics and ensuring students understand our democratic processes and how they can be involved. As of July 2022, Representative Ford is a member of the following Illinois House committees: Higher Education, Fair Lending and Community Reinvestment Subcommittee, Financial Institution Committee, Labor and Commerce Committees, Public Utilities Committee, Restorative Justice Committee. Ford also identifies himself as a firm believer in the power of responsible parenting and helped grow the Illinois Council of Responsible Fatherhood, which aims to support fathers and help them become more responsible and present. He consistently advocates for increased access for financial resources and institutions, marginalized communities, and promotes for the value education districts. On May 21st, 2025, Ford filed paperwork with the Federal Election Commission to run for Illinois 7th Congressional District, currently represented by Danny Davis. And on July 31st, as you know, he announced. On November 29, 2012, Ford was indicted on charges of bank fraud, alleging he provided misleading evidence to obtain a $500,000 extension on a line of credit. The charge state he used the money for personal expenses rather than rehabilitating an owned property as stated in the loan documentation. On August 2014, all 17 felony counts of bank fraud and false information against Ford were dropped by federal prosecutors in exchange for his pleading guilty to a single misdemeanor, including tax charge, and Ford's trial was removed from the federal docket. First of all, they be too much in your business, but it is what it is. So yeah, so he endorsed LaShawn Ford, and yeah. Besides him, you have over 8 candidates already lined up before he blessed Ford. That includes Richard Boykin Davis, former chief of staff, Melissa Conyers-Irvin, who is the who was the treasurer of Chicago, who's still dodging ethic violation and just got hit with a $70,000 city fine. So how do we trust any of them to clean up a mess they helped create? The machine still thinks it can pick our leaders. Davis said he brought a rocking chair, but that turned right around and agreed to chair Ford's campaign. So let's not get it twisted. The same old political machine is trying to rebrand itself, and we're supposed to go along with it because it's time for a new leadership. This ain't new, it's recycled. Now, I will say I really don't have no issue with LaShawn Ford because there was a family who was like, they were sleeping in a car, and he helped get them housing, helping getting a house and stuff like that. And that speaks volumes to me because as you know, I'm fighting for my family's property, my mom and my godfather's property, but I also see the issue, what's going on with the homeless rate and the housing crisis. So I will give LaShawn Ford that. I saw that, and he really did it by himself. I will say that. I'm anti-Democrat. Like I said, I don't really rock with Democrats. Same old bullshit over and over again. It's gonna be the same bullshit over again because, as Danielle Carter says all the time, it's their policies, and that's exactly what it is. So my position, CFR's position, is the seat belongs to the people, not the party. This is a safe democratic seat. That's exactly why CFR is here to challenge the status quo, expose democratic stronghold that's failed black communities and the black candidates who actually defend our rights, protect our neighborhoods, and prioritize legacy over loyalty to failed leadership. And it's not, I honestly believe nobody that's running right now that's black and that's on the Republican side or the Democratic side can stay that seat. Also, they said that Walter Burnett is looking at that seat. That's how weird it is. So I'm watching the race closely. The West Side deserves better than a hand-me-down power play. No more inherited seats, no more unaccountable leadership, no more games. We said it before, black voters are not property, and Chicago's 7th congressional district is not for sale. So I really do hope that you guys just don't put nobody in there just because y'all just do your research, look, talk to them, ask the uncomfortable the uncomfortable questions that need to be asked, because at the end of the day, that's how we're going to win. All right. That's how that works. Woo! This nigga right here. Sad nigga. Excuse me, bear with me real quick. Budget. Brandon Johnson's war on businesses won't save Chicago. Johnson budget bombshell, $1 billion in the red. Mayor Brandon Johnson's City Hall is facing a 1.5 billion budget hole, and instead of tightening the belt, he's doubling down on class warfare floating a corporate payroll tax and reviving the failed head tax. Forget cutting spending, his solution, bleed the very businesses still waiting to operate in a crime-ridden, dysfunctional, tax-heavy city. But like he says, crime is down. The plan is to tax anyone successful. The proposed excise tax would target businesses with 8 million plus payrolls, charge 5% on employees earning over 200K, be modeled on Seattle's volatile jumpstart tax. Translation, if you pay good wages, you get punished. If you grow, you get penalized. If you create jobs, you're now the enemy. This is the Democratic Party, and this is socialism. This is communism. Democratic Party is socialism and communism. They've been doing it for a very long time. And once they start seeing people waking up, and then they tried the COVID shit, and then the illegal immigration shit, and then so now they don't know what to do, but they have to continue the playbook. Economic suicide in the making. The Chicagoland Chamber of Commerce and other groups are already warning this kills jobs, deters investment, and could violate the Illinois Constitution, which bars local income taxes. Seattle's Jumpstart tax raised $300 million in year one, but 70% came from just 10 companies when they lay off workers or leave. Revenue tanks. Chicago doesn't have a booming tech sector to prop this up, so who pays when it flops? The math doesn't add up. Johnson floated $5 head tax that might raise just $25 million, a rounding error on a $1 billion hole. Meanwhile, bringing back garbage fees and liquor taxes might only net $100 to $300 million combined. There aren't real solutions. They're ideological gestures, and Chicagoans will be stuck paying the price again. This is a piece of shit, and he's doing shadow government, Institute for Public Good. This new think tank run by no good ass Johnson and his loyalists is pushing the tax plan under shaky data and peddling class envy disguised as fiscal policy. The group's report has already drawn skepticism for unreliable sources. Unelected activists are drafting Chicagoans' tax policy, not economists, not businesses, and certainly not taxpayers. Johnson hiring freeze, no property tax hike. The mayor wants credit for freezing non-essential hiring, but the city is still overspending. His own allies rejected fee hikes last year, and Johnson refuses to even consider cutting broken programs. It's fiscal theater, not fiscal responsibility. CFR's take is Mayor Johnson wants to turn Chicago into a progressive experiment funded by the last remaining job creators and homeowners. His economic plan, punish success, scare off employers, and tax a shrinking pie. Meanwhile, crime, corruption, and government bloat remain untouched. This is not tax the rich, it's tax the backbone of the city, working professionals and small businesses, and anyone still investing in Chicago. The tax plan is a scarecrow for business, not a safety net for residents. Chicago doesn't need more progressive dreams. It needs economic reality. Fire the socialists, fix the city, and flip it red. We gotta flip this city red. It ain't no saving none of these people, to be quite honest. It's really not saving none of these people. These people don't want to be saved. These progressives do not want to be saved. They are criminals, man. Straight criminals. Straight criminals. Man. Oh, there you go. Okay, so Walter Burnett, y'all. So he retired on Friday officially. Um, Walter Burnett Jr. makes a move after stepping down Thursday from both vice mayor and zone committee chair. Sources confirm Burnett is likely abandoning his plans to head to CHA, Chicago Housing Authority, and instead preparing to run for U.S. Congress in Illinois 7th District. So they say he's trying to run. He may run against LaShawn Ford and the rest of them for Danny Davis' seat. So he's trading one political gatekeeper seat for another, and CHA leadership was never more than a placeholder. I think due to the backlash, they decided to figure out a different option. Also, I think he is panicking because the feds is watching Walter Burnett. Walter Burnett is heading to jail, prison. He's next. He's the next one. But I believe he promised somebody, a developer or something, and he thought he was going to get it through CHA or something like that. So that might be that fell through. So now he has to figure out how is he going to get this guy, whoever the guy, probably well, not guy, person, whoever the development company probably gave him the money already, or put something on it, or it's going to be a pretty big lucrative deal if he can get the land for the person or something like that. It's probably supposed to be that CHA land, but because people did the pushback and all that stuff, and it's all over the place. He got to figure it out. But Walter Burnett is heading to jail. That's the real issue when it comes down to all of this. Um, there is a another person that is voting. I mean, that is running as a Republican against the CHA. I mean, against Walter Burnett, LaShawn Ford, Melissa Conya Irvins, all that. His name is Chad Copey. He's a Republican candidate for the Congress in the 7th District. And if you like to read up about Chad, go to copyforcongress.com. That's KOPPIE for Congress.com. If you're in the 7th District, do your homework. Ask who's been silent when the city is burned. Who's exploiting the brand and not doing the work? Who's quietly supporting the same machine, just wearing a new jacket? So I will be tracking the race from all angles: Republican, Democrat, Independent, upside down, side to side, round to round. Because for us, it's not about the parties; it's really about the power, policy, and the people. But the Democratic Party in Chicago is a no. A no. Now, I wanted to see about this right here, y'all. See if it's gonna come on. Let's see. See if it's gonna come on, y'all. Want to see if it comes on.
I said, don't.
I'm on live. All right. I don't know what that was. All right. Hold on, y'all. Almost there. What up, Danny? All right. Get into it. Let's see.
I know of that has put the ultimate skin.
Wait, she talking.
In the education game. His children are at CPS.
Hold on.
Say what you will about the fifth floor, Leader Tarver, but Mayor Johnson is the mayor I know of that has put the ultimate skin in the education game. His children are at CPS, and so are mine.
Board Member Blaze. Number one, when you talk about prior mayors, where their kids went to school, I don't get into what people's kids go to school. My daughter's in CPS. And even if she weren't, I'm not selfish enough that I don't care about the other children. That's number one. Number two, when you talk about the mayor, let's be clear about why we are where we are right now. Okay? The mayor came in and blamed everybody before him, said he was essentially somebody's savior, and there was a mandate from the city of Chicago for him to do certain things. He forgot that he won 17-16 because only a third of the city voted. There was no mandate. Okay? So let's be clear about that. In addition to that, what he did was fire the one, or she resigned, the one person who actually had county, state, and city experience who ran IGA. So then he had an anemic IGA team. Then he decided to hire the person to lead it, who, after he lost his race, went to a city department, was under investigation by the inspector general, and then resigned. That person leads the Springfield team right now. Okay, so let's be clear about that. They had absolutely no plan. They sent Allie Fendrick down to Springfield to negotiate. She negotiated things when people took her own language. They then worked to kill the bill. Let's be clear about what's going on. If the mayor had a Springfield team that knew what they were doing, he wouldn't be wearing a jacket for killing a hemp bill that was already dead. Part of the reason we're in this position right now is because, like I said last September, everybody wants to help children. Not very many people want to help him because of his lack of leadership. So I hear you that you disagree with my comments, but I can tell you I'm in Springfield every single day. I chair revenue. I know what ideas came forth. You know what they are? I just said them earlier. Raise the property tax levy or change the threshold for the school board vote. Those are the only two things proposed. So respectfully, I disagree with you with your take or whatever. I'm happy to have a conversation offline as well. But I would say you be well advised. If we're going to have a conversation, come with actual facts. I'm in Springfield. I understand what's going on down that way. And I can tell you, as I said before, the mayor does not have 4 votes outside of city legislators, if he has that, for anything that he wants to do, which is why he came up short with every single thing he asked for this year. All I care about are children. Let me be very clear. All I care about are children. Because someone is an educator does not make them an effective leader. And what I am saying is that, in my estimation, in my experience, part of the reason we are where we are is because of the ineffectiveness and sometimes ineptitude of the 5th floor.
Woo! Bars. Okay? Bars. Enough is enough. Okay? Enough is enough. Let me tell you something. Now, Curtis, you said what had to be said. I heard the whole spill. You know what I'm saying? You did what you had to do. You know, I appreciate that, because at this point, that's Curtis. You don't look like that now. You got a little beard right now. But Curtis, man. And I know that, like, no one likes Brandon Johnson, because Brandon Johnson is delusional. Brandon Johnson is crazy. Brandon Johnson literally is a liar. Like, he has no leadership. He's ineffective. But I know exactly what he's talking about when it comes to this IGA stuff, because I was there when they when she resigned. Her name is Sydney Holman. This is when stuff really started to go downhill, when they got rid of Sydney Holman. So that's Sydney. IGA stands for Intergovernmental Affairs. In the context of a mayor's office, especially in a major city like Chicago, IGA is a department responsible for managing relationships between the city and other levels of government, including coordinates with local, state, and federal government. So basically like a wing person, a person who is supposed to get things done, and that's what she has done. That's her experience. That's what she's done. That's what she's known to do. They work with Springfield, state capital, Washington, D.C. on legislation, funding, and regulations, handles official city lobbying efforts, managing policy strategy, helps pushes the mayor legislative agenda through the city council and state legislator, negotiates state federal funding for city programs, infrastructure, and public services, oversees political outreach, builds alliances with legislators, departments, and agencies, communicates with aldermen and other elected officials on city priorities, crisis management and damage control during emergencies, scandals, or major projects. IGA often serves as the back channel to keep government entities coordinated and aligned. So a very, 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 very powerful role and position in government or politics. Why IGA is powerful? It's the invisible hand in City Hall. Most people never hear about IGA, but it controls how the city gets money, permission, and political protection from other government bodies. Without a strong IGA team, a mayor's entire agenda, budget, infrastructure, housing, even policing can stall. It was her, and there was 2 other women as well that left also, and they were a strong team. I see her all the time. I see the other 2 women as well there, and they it was a balance, So basically, a real world example would be if Chicago wants $2 billion in federal funds for lead pipe replacement or transit upgrades, IGA, who writes the memos, makes the calls, and secures the meetings. If the city council threatens to block a budget, IGA staff works the phones to count votes and cut deals and behind the scenes. So when people leave IGA quietly, it's not just a staffing change, it's a potential crisis for the mayor, especially during budget season or while managing multi-agency projects like affordable housing, migrant response, tax reform, policing legislation, public school funding. All right. Now, Sydney Holman, she left in 2024 after reported internal tensions over reporting to Kennedy Bartley, a rising political appointee within the Johnson administration. Holman was the key liaison to City Council Springfield and federal agencies. She reportedly refused to report to Bartley, citing professional and ideological concerns. Her exit paired with Robinson's leads the leadership vacuums and intergovernmental affairs. So Kennedy Bartley is like, she went to school with my sister too. And like I said, I don't have no issue with Kennedy Bartley. I think Kennedy Bartley is she's not equipped for her job. She comes from United Working Families as a union president or union leader. I think that she should not have the position that she has because she is just not qualified for it. And it's not a bad thing. It's just that this lady has been this for years. This is what she does. Matter of fact, another company ended up picking her up in February of 2025 to do exactly what she's doing now. So I think it was a dumb move. And honestly, since she's been gone and the other two women have been gone as well, it's really been shambles down there. I mean, even Brian Hopkins, and I'm not a big fan of Brian Hopkins, but even Brian Hopkins said that was a very wrong move for him to remove Sydney. Like, it didn't make any sense why he chose Kennedy Bartley to take on a position that she has no experience. Like, she was fine doing what she was doing. I don't know what made you think that she was supposed to answer to Kennedy Bartley. I wish I would have been a fly on the wall. I hope one day I'll be able to hear the real story so it can make sense, but it's never going to make sense because it has to do with Brandon Johnson. And Brandon Johnson is just, as you know, an idiot and incompetent. But I do want to, I don't know if a lot of people knew about this, but there was this guy that was he started out as Brandon's senior aide, right? His name is Maurice Robinson. So when I first started my fight, right, going down to City Hall and things like that, has gone on to City Hall. And when I started going down there complaining or whatever, this guy was making it seem like he was the guy who was, basically taking care of things when it came to Brandon and putting out the fires for Brandon and all this stuff. His name Maurice Robinson. He's supposed to have been the senior aide. You understand? And he called me one day. He called me and he called Miss Jessica too, but he was calling us private, and he was calling us, trying to give us information on our properties, on our issue. And I remember he came to me and told me that, oh, well, they knocked down the building because of building violations. And I'm like, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? He was like, well, that's what the city gave us. And, that's all, we looked it up, but that's just what it is. I'm like, you're not even looking to see what I have. You understand? So then 2 days, 3 days later, he calls me again and he says, why is, if your mother going through all this, why is she trying to put the land for sale? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he was like, the land is for sale. And I said, what are you talking about? So he gives me the ladies, the agent, the realtor's information. And I reach out to the realtor, and the realtor tells me that somebody in City Hall called her and said that my mother wanted to put the land, the land on list for rent. For sale or whatever. And I'm like, my mother? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, I know my mother didn't reach out to you. So she was like, yeah. I was like, what's the email? So she gives me some bogus ass email, some hotmail.com, whatever. And so then she goes, well, that doesn't make any sense, because if I was to sell the land, I don't have the deed. Exactly. So I asked him, like, who gave you this information? Who gave you my money? And so she would not tell me. And I told her, I said, look, you got 24 hours to take this listing down from everywhere. It was on everything. MLS, it was on everything. So she took it down because I was about to reach out to the State of Illinois Realtor Association, the City of Chicago. I was the national realtor. Like, Rich, you wasn't about to have no realtor license fucking with me. I don't give a fuck who did you. Don't want to tell me who sent you? Cool, whatever, whatever. So like 2 weeks later, it was a city council meeting, and Maurice comes up to me and he gives me these papers, and the papers are some building violation stuff. And so he was like, yeah, this is all they gave me or whatever. And I'm like, yeah. And so then I tell him, I said, all right, let's play. I'll play your game. I said, so say they did knock it down for building violations. I said, where a court order at? And so he goes, well, I don't know about the court order. I said, so you think you could just knock down somebody's building, Mr. Senior Aide, okay, Mr. Robinson? You understand that you're telling me that you know the ropes, you know how this works, You the one that's starting to try to divide all of us, and because he's the one said that he's the reason why the city councils were starting to get divided, us going on the third floor and stuff, trying to control and all this, because he's trying to run all this, even though he has no idea what he's doing. However, you telling me you put all this together, you don't have no common sense. Your college degree didn't come with any type of knowledge to let you know that you can't knock down anybody's building without a court order. Understand? So he still wasn't, it wasn't clicking to him. You understand? And he just like, well, these are it. So then he asks me, is why you always getting on Brandon Johnson? You understand? Brandon Johnson isn't the reason your building was knocked down. And he was absolutely right. He's not. Right? So when he said that, because he is right, I wrote wrote what I said to what's that dude's name? David Moore that day. And the next time I had city council, I actually was able to speak, and I went in on David Moore, because he is the reason why. He didn't say anything, do anything, but Mayor Johnson is the mayor. And as you being the mayor, it shouldn't have you should want to make it right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got a person that's coming down here, especially after you done stole all this money for illegal immigrants. You would think that you don't want this, the camera on you, because we're down there every day, all day, but he's not saying anything, doing anything. So at the end of the day, it falls on Brandon Johnson, or his handler, whoever it is. So after a while, I start seeing this dude, still seeing, but not paying him no mind, because I'm hearing all types of rumors about this dude. I'm hearing that he got his ass beat by Jason Leigh. Jason Leigh is Brandon Johnson's advisor, and he got his ass beat because Brandon Johnson got a baby, and the baby, him and Maurice Robinson supposedly share the same baby because they're swingers, and the baby came from, and Brandon Johnson got his wife pregnant. So supposedly the baby that he's claiming as his child is really his, I guess, stepchild, because it's really Brandon's baby. And the baby and his wife was coming up there trying to get a paternity, trying to get, I don't know, some type of paternity test or something like that. But Brandon Johnson, he'll duck you. He always ducks somebody. So to the point that the lady was getting banned. His wife was getting banned from coming up there because she was bringing up the baby all the time. The police were saying that. This is the story. This is a story that, P. Ray actually just going around and told the story. So and stuff. Anyway, he was trying to go to the gangsters. I'm not the gangsters, the vice lords, because supposedly Brandon Johnson's a vice lord as well, and he was trying to get the vice lords to beat up Jason Leigh after he got his ass whooped. But they said the vice lords laughed him out. So that was just the end of that. So every time I would see him, that's all I would think about was like, damn, is that really Brandon's baby? William J. Kelly mentioned the baby too. You know what I'm saying? So it's a baby. So that's that. But so anyway, he wasn't about shit, wasn't doing shit. I think he honestly, Brandon had very good confidence in this dude. And I think when he could have in the beginning, Maurice told Brandon, look, you should sit down with Miss Jessica, and you should sit down with Zoe and figure out how you can settle this case or whatever. He was that close to him, and it's clearly, if they boning each other wives, you would think that they would have that connection where he would have told him that. But I guess he felt some type of way because he got his ass whooped by Jason Leigh. And if you see Jason Leigh, let me show y'all Jason Leigh real quick, because maybe y'all don't know who Jason Leigh is. So this is Jason Leigh right here, y'all, because I need y'all to understand everything that's going on. All right. All right. So this is Jason Leigh right here. Now that's Jason Leigh, and that's his advice. Now Jason Leigh, mom was State Rep Sheila Jackson Leigh. She passed away last year. She had cancer, and she was trying to be mayor of was it Houston, knowing that she had this aggressive ass cancer. This I'm trying to tell you, Democrats, they just will do anything. They will die to try to keep this crazy shit going. But anyway, that's Jason Leigh. So Jason Leigh got his ass beat. Not Jason Leigh. No, Jason Leigh supposedly beat Maurice Robinson ass up on the 5th floor. The police and stuff had to come break it up for everything because his wife was coming up there with the baby. Okay, and this is like when he just getting in and stuff like this. We got the most incompetent people in this running. Like it's an embarrassment it's an embarrassment of all times. All right, but anyway, let's get back to what it is, because the baby. All right, and they said the baby looked just like ugly Brandon, so it's getting real crazy. Look at him, smile, goofy ass nigga. But that's him. Look at him. He just know, like, you a dumb ass nigga. But he's a cokehead. So, like, it's just all bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just all bad. Bad. Super, super bad. Yeah, bad. All right. Now, he went and disappeared for a minute, and then, well, not really disappeared. He just be, like, behind the scenes. But you always see him with Brandon Johnson. So once I realized that they stole that infrastructure money earlier this year, and it was going to try to get Brandon Johnson reelected, because there's no way in the world this nigga's getting back in. So he's trying to do whatever he can to try to get this election, or whoever else he's going to try to put in there, and thinks that the city's going to be okay with it. Anything that is involved with or associated with Brandon Johnson is a no. Like his whole administration will be on the do not hire list as a whole. Don't hire none of these niggas. These niggas is the most incompetent motherfuckers on earth. But anyway, when I realized that I went on LinkedIn, a lot of people don't know about LinkedIn, but I went on LinkedIn, because I just started really piecing things together and just seeing how fucked up all these people are and stuff like that. I went on Maurice LinkedIn back in May, and I saw it said intergovernmental and infrastructure strategist. So this nigga went from senior aide to intergovernmental and infrastructure strategist as soon as that money, that city council voted for that $832 million. So I had posted, because it was on the 18th, May 18th, I posted, Maurice Robinson is at the center of much of the dysfunction City Hall, and for good reason. His track record speaks for itself. For over 12 years, he has failed to identify, develop, or implement any serious best practices around diversity, equity, inclusion, or supplier diversity in either the corporate or nonprofit sectors. He has neglected to build real mutually beneficial partnerships between communities and businesses, something critical for trust and long-term impact. The Trump administration and the Department of Justice needs to investigate Maurice Robinson immediately. His behavior is more than just negligent, it's corrosive to good governance. He is a cancer to progress, and the damage he's done to the city needs to be exposed and addressed to the federal level. Let's not ignore the personal motives either. There's long-standing tension between Maurice and Mayor Brandon Johnson, and much of it stems from Maurice's own unresolved issues. Word is his wife is still pursuing a paternity test for the kind of situation Brandon strategically avoids. But Maurice can't seem to move past. Enough is enough. Chicago deserves better. So that was 5/18 that I spoke about that. And then let's get into my man. Maurice Robinson, he served as the senior advisor for intergovernmental infrastructure strategy in Mayor Brandon Johnson's administration for about a month and a half. Though not titled deputy mayor, he functioned like one, coordinating between City Hall, Springfield, and Washington for about 24 days. He was a senior aide before that. He was responsible for high-level infrastructure negotiations that never happened, managing state and federal relationships. They have no relationship with nobody, as you see. That's why he's out here pandering to anybody that will listen. Overseeing public works, funding, and capital projects. Robinson was the power broker for how and where billions in infrastructure dollars would be directed. But that didn't happen. His background, Robinson brought a hybrid of community campaign and construction expertise. Lakeside Alliance led diversity and inclusion strategy for the Obama Presidential Center contractor. So, as you see, they're all linked up together with some type of weird Obama shit. American Federation of Teachers handled labor and political outreach. Here we go with the Federation of Teachers shit. REDI Foundation built educational and culture programming underserved communities. And then he did political campaigns, operated behind the scenes in progressive organizing and turnout strategy. So in about June, let's get this. Let me get this right. I want to get the right date. So June. Yes, that's all they do. Right about that, Char. Yes. Niggas is wild. I'm trying to I got to get the right words. Hold on. He got up out of here real. They ain't talk about it. So he was in and out there so he decided to be so he was a former senior aide, office of the mayor of the city of Chicago. This was from the time that Brandon got in office until he stole that infrastructure money. And then he made Maurice Johnson intergovernmental and infrastructure strategist, right? And then June 30th, he announced on LinkedIn. Now, he didn't even go. He did this on LinkedIn that he was leaving. So it wasn't he didn't say anything. He left the administration quietly, no press release, no replacement. He just exited. He exited in June. The first week of June, he wrote on his LinkedIn that he was leaving. And it wasn't a big thing now, which is crazy because my man, when I say this man was everywhere with him, everywhere. If you've seen Brandon Johnson Weird Self, you saw what's it called? And like he says, trying to get this so I can read the official. Posted a picture of this was 2 months ago. And he said, "Today is my last day serving in the office of Mayor Brandon Johnson, and I'm closing the chapter with immense pride and deep gratitude. Serving the people of Chicago in this role has been an honor and a privilege. Over the past 2 years, I've had the opportunity to work alongside dedicated colleagues, passionate community members, and tireless advocates who remind me daily why public service matters. Together, we navigated complex challenges, advanced meaningful initiatives, and most importantly, centered communities in everything we do. From responding to constituents' needs, which was crazy, needs to shaping policies and driving equitable outcomes, the work has been intense, humbling, and rewarding. What I'll carry with me most is the people, the mentors who challenged me to think bigger, the teammates who rolled up their sleeves every single day without hesitation, and the residents whose voices grounded our work and purpose. Though this chapter is coming to a close, I remain committed to building a more just, inclusive, and vibrant Chicago. I'm excited of what lies ahead, and I'll be sharing more soon. To those I've had the pleasure of working with, thank you for your partnership and trust and your shared belief in the power of good government. I'm respectfully thankful for the trusted place in me by Mayor Johnson. The mentorship and collaboration cannot be measured in a post. Know that not a word of encouragement or accountability was forgotten. A moment taken for granted, a personal moment not taken to heart. I needed to see your greatness to understand my own. Though my time in this role is coming to a close, my commitment to the values that brought me to public service remains stronger than ever. I look forward to continuing to build a better, stronger, safer Chicago. Onward. So the better, stronger, safer Chicago is clearly a code word for something. And he did the wink. He did the wink after he said that. So that's Maurice Robinson on the side over there to the left. That's my man. I like that dude. He's a security detail, but I rock him. That's that dyke girl that tried to say some crazy stuff to me one day, thinking that I was like waiting for him or something. I had to let her know, Tom Cruise, get the fuck out the way, because I ain't waiting for this bad knee, nigga. Look at that knee. That knee ain't shit. It's always that knee ain't shit. I got a bad knee too, so I gotta stop talking about it. That knee right there. That ain't got the knee fucked up, man. So yeah. So anyway, he quietly got up out of there, and nobody didn't talk about it. Like nobody. I ain't see no newspaper talk about it. I ain't see Sun Times. I didn't see WTV. I didn't see Heather Sharon. I didn't see nobody talk about it. But he got the fuck up out of there. Just got up out of there. Just and ain't nobody talk about it. But in his LinkedIn post, he ended with, I look forward to continuing to build a better, stronger, safer Chicago. So he probably went and laundered that money, that $832 million. They're trying to figure out how to do what they got to do with that. You understand what I'm saying? Because they got a baby to raise. They got a baby to raise. Let me see if I see anything about anybody talk about Maurice Robinson getting up out of there. This nigga went on. Nobody else talked about it. I didn't see anything. Nope. Nope. I see in 28 in 2014, he was going to try to be the alderman of the 29th ward. But clearly that didn't work. But yeah, I don't see nothing about Maurice Robinson. He quietly resigned or left on LinkedIn, and not one reporter wrote about his abrupt leaving. This man right here, this man was everywhere with him. He was his senior aide. He was his senior aide. I'm confused. I'm really confused. Now nobody. Like everywhere. Everywhere. He was everywhere with him. This nigga was trying to be the alderman. That didn't work. In 2014, what happened? They out here sharing a baby. They sharing a baby. What had happened? Man, he's be everywhere with him. There he go right there behind him. It's crazy. I cannot believe this. Right there, next to him. This is crazy. My man. He took the $832 million. What happened? That man left, and ain't nobody discussed that this man is no longer there. He been gone for 2 months. I posted what I read to y'all. I posted that 5/18. He was gone the first week of June. The senior aide turned intergovernmental infrastructure strategist. This man right here. I just want to know. I want to know what happened. We'll probably never know. But because of my man is in there in shambles, Brandon Johnson, because he don't know what the fuck he's doing, he hires this guy right here. This is Jim Gardner's looking stalker. This is a wild boy right here. It's a wild. John Arena's a wild boy. Okay, he's the one who started this progressive caucus shit, and then he got voted out. I mean, I say voted out. Okay, like by a landslide, and but he's down there advocating. Remember what Tarver said? You know, they got rid of Sydney. Okay, they got rid of Sydney. Got rid of Sydney now. Sydney been doing this for a long time. They got rid of Sydney ass. They got rid of Sydney, who had all the experience. Sydney had all the experience. Okay, Sydney Holman, not a DEI hire. Now, she had all the experience. Got rid of her for this DEI hire. Now, this is a DEI hire. This nigga right here. He shouldn't be nowhere near. Like what he put Gardner through, what he put the city through. It's a weird band right here. So City Hall has not officially named the replacement, but two key staffers now appear to lead different pieces of intergovernmental strategy. John Arena, Director of State Legislative Affairs, former 45th Ward Alderman, co-founder of the Progressive Reform Caucus, now serves as the lead contact with the Illinois General Assembly and not getting anything done down there, as you could see. Brings insider Springfield relationships, but has a politically divisive past. And no one respects him, just like they don't respect Brandon Johnson. Okay? And then he also has this lady right here. This is Emily, y'all. Emily Melby. She's Director of City Council Affairs. She be in there. Y'all know her. You know, she be in there trying to smooth out bullshit. She's the former chief of staff to state reps Ann Williams and Will Guzzardi. Coordinates interactions between the mayor and city council. Holds a master's degree from University of Chicago Harris School of Public Policy. So yeah. So as taxpayers and voters, you guys should be watching out for Will Johnson's infrastructure and public transit agenda stall. Yes. Who now holds the pen on Springfield and DC negotiations because he's not getting nothing negotiated and he will never because no one respects him. Is this part of a broader shakeup, audit, or internal purge? Maurice Robinson's quiet departure, along with other top exits, signals instability in the mayor's inner circle at a time when Chicago faces record debt, rising taxes, and crumbling infrastructure. Without transparency on who's now in charge, Chicago taxpayers may be left in the dark while critical projects stall. City Hall's silence on key leadership changes and not just bad optics. It's a crisis of public trust. So yeah. So that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with just all around drama, all around bullshit, all around Democratic bullshit, and dealing with the Illinois GOP, the Chicago GOP, who absolutely don't care and don't know what they're doing either. Because if they did, they would have been got some people in there from GOP. Like, there's no reason why that all the aldermen that in the city, there's 50 aldermen, that they're all Democrats. That's insane. That's insane. Like, what is Illinois GOP doing? What is Cook County GOP doing? What is the Chicago Republicans doing? And then you have one Cook County commissioner who is a Republican, right? And I read this crazy article earlier today. And I think I'm going to read it to y'all before I end. First, I was going like contemplating, but then when I start really thinking and doing my, just thinking and talking, and then I just realized that all these people play this same game and they do it on purpose. It's a problem, right? So this is it's only one commissioner that is a Republican, and he is the Cook County. His name is Sean Morrison, right? Now, I done reached out to Sean Morrison. This was before they got burned. He got killed in the primaries, and then he stepped down as the Cook County Republican chair, and now they have Aaron Del Mar on there. But I received this article earlier, and it was written November 2024, so right after the elections. Basically, it says the Cook County Republican Party is selling innocence in exchange for political power. Cook County Republican then chair, because he's no longer chair, Sean Morrison pretends to protect children but uses his limited Republican power to protect child predators. The established people, right? So, a few months ago, the 80 Republican committee members of Cook County convened to vote on a chair tasked with overseeing elections and shaping the party's messaging. In a display of satisfaction with the status quo, Cook County committee members decided to maintain their current leadership, re-electing Sean Morrison as the chair with 82% of the vote. The decision to re-elect Morrison raises dark concerns about the committee persons, priorities, and values. To their credit, 18% did not vote for Morrison, and several committee members who did vote for him had already expressed regret to the author of this article. However, key figures like Northfield's T.J. Brown and Palatine Township's Aaron Delmar, a former adult entertainment proprietor and alleged godfather to one of Sean Morrison's children, remain strong advocates. During Morrison's tenure, the county party has lost every single Republican office holder except Morrison himself, who retains a seat on the Cook County board. It is often rumored among Illinois Republicans that Morrison intentionally avoids running Republican candidates in Cook County as part of tactic appeasement with Democrats to protect his own seat. Most Republican voters in Cook County, such as this writer, are effectively disfranchised from voting, with only one Democrat candidate appearing on the ballot in most races. As a result, the Cook County Republican organizations are often forced to endorse the most Republican Democrat. Conservatives across Illinois have criticized Morrison for controversial strategy of the Chicago Republican Party, supporting Democrats like Paul Vallis for mayor, Bob Ferretti for Cook County Board, Richard Irvin for governor, and many others. Setting electoral issues aside, Morrison's indisputable, shady background and past actions make him unfit to serve as a messenger for the Cook County Republican Party. Cook County Republicans frame crime as a defining wedge issue, casting themselves as law and order champions in opposition of the radical left Cook County Democrats. The Cook County Democratic Party's push to eliminate cash bail is a frequent talking point in Republican messaging. Yesterday, which was about 7 months ago, Morrison took to Twitter to highlight the story of a Chicago teenager who committed 8 robberies. While out on bail, he appeared to blame what he called failed soft-on-crime policies that prioritize criminals' rights over citizens of the county. However, Morrison is fundamentally unfit messenger to criticize Democrats and is detrimental to the Cook County Republican brand. While Cook County GOP Chair Sean Morrison may be hard on young offenders, Morrison has a soft spot towards older offenders, particularly those arrested for child molestation and sexual harassment of a minor. Records reveal that Morrison advocated for leniency in a criminal child abuse case involving Anthony Martin, a senior vice president at Morrison Security. The 6'4", 230-pound Martin, then 46, molested a 14-year-old at Cook County Republican Chair Morrison's home during a pool party and later harassed her using company phone, asking the teen one to mess around with him. Morrison may tell Republican candidates that he barely knew Anthony Martin, but he told Cook County Judge John Hines that Martin was instrumental in running my business and an employee of over 10 years. Unlike Chicago teenagers who commit theft, Morrison urged the court to allow loose bail restrictions for Martin, describing him as someone he had trusted. Morrison, who allegedly lied about graduating from Moraine Valley Community College, has proven to be an unreliable resource. And you and what's my man name? Ron Mosley, y'all lying about colleges? Most companies likely would not want someone arrested for sexual crimes against a 14-year-old managing their business. However, Morrison Security is a unique company. The company was registered by James D. Palmer, infamous mob boss Sam Gustiana's lawyer and rumored son-in-law. Morrison's security first rose to national prominence in 1994. Considering Morrison's controversial clientele, there may be a case to be made that Martin's services were invaluable and perfectly in line with Morrison's company values. Nevertheless, much like the young Chicago teen Morrison criticized, Morrison's trusted employee Anthony Martin was granted leniency by Cook County Judge John Hines, and much like the young teen who drew Morrison's heir, Anthony Martin immediately reoffended by attempting to solicit sex from a minor during his Morrison-sponsored trip to Colorado. Morrison told a prominent Cook County Republican candidate that Martin's molestation and sexual harassment of a teenager was not a big deal, which is, if true, would call into question of the integrity of Morrison's nonprofit Operation Restoring Innocence. Sean co-founded and funded Operation Restoring Innocence, a 501c3 organization of the efforts by Operation to rescuing and recovering exploited missing children from gangs and human traffickers. On Sean Cook's county bio, he claims without attribution that Operation Restoring Innocence has saved 150 kids, and that his non-for-profit company has been recognized for its pro bono services in the field of missing and exploited children, specifically in cases of child human trafficking. The many contradictions of Sean Morrison making it impossible for Cook County Republicans to effectively argue to voters that Democrats are the ones who are too soft on crime. To most Republicans and Democratic voters alike, sexual crimes against minors are offenses that unequivocally do not deserve leniency. This undermines Morrison's ability to advocate for tough on crime stance. Further, he cannot even effectively argue against violence given his role as a producer of the controversial reality fighting show Ultimate Woman's Challenge. One of the female contestants even described Morrison as a waste of human skin. Although it's harsh to call anyone a waste of human skin, Morrison's glaring problems are a costly hurdle that all Cook County Republican candidates must overcome due to guilty by association. Considering that the Cook County Republican chair's job is to support candidates, Morrison's concerning background makes him unfit for the position. Electing Sean Morrison as chair would be asking Penn State football promoting Jerry Sandusky from defensive coordinator to head coach. The main difference being that Penn State at least won some games, unlike the Cook County Republicans. It is easy for Republican leaders to campaign on platitudes like "I'm against crime" or "soda should be cheaper." However, as a super minority party, they lack any real ability to govern. Their consultant-tested phrases are nothing more than empty rhetoric. When issue Republicans campaign on seep into their own lives, that's when their true values and beliefs. Sean Morrison could tweet all he wants against cashless bail, but the fact remains that he values child predators over Cook County Republicans he's supposed to represent, and for the most part, Cook County Republican committee people appear to value nothing at all. Now, I don't rock with none of these people, okay? And I stand on that. I don't rock with Cook County GOP. I don't rock with the Illinois GOP. I don't rock with the Chicago Republicans because, A, I went to all these people when the situation happened with my mom and nobody didn't respond back, including this man right here. Number two is I know that they are okay with this broken system here because they're getting money and they are, like what they're saying, rhinos. So it wasn't a surprise when I asked to meet with this man and he didn't meet with me. He hasn't responded back, but I guess he was embarrassed too about the upset that just happened. And then he had to step down and gave it to Aaron DeMar. Now, the Aaron DeMar dude he in his feelings because that time that we had the press conference out here in Hyde Park, and Mark Carter would not let him talk. And I guess he felt some type of way, but that's between him and Mark Carter. And Mark Carter said he disrespected him at an event, and it wasn't it was the wrong time and the wrong place. So Mark Carter stepped to him there. But he thought I was going to stop everything I was doing and stop talking to Mark Carter and come talk to him. And my thing is, I ain't on that because A, I know Mark Carter. B, I know Mark Carter because going down there. And A, I'm having a conversation. I'm not going to stop what I'm doing because that was a situation that happened while you and Mark Carter don't talk. No, because Mark Carter was speaking to somebody and you decide to be rude, cut the conversation off, knowing that that was a man talking. You don't cut off no grown-ass man. That's common courtesy. So that's just that. And because of that, and I think he felt some type of way in his ego when it was time to basically he said, I brought all these cameras and all stuff. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, be a man and apologize, but it's bigger than that. So because of that, they have choose to distance themselves or feel some type of way because we're not going to be the Republicans that they want us to be or that stuff like that. Y'all have been here for a long time. Y'all have no plan. Y'all have no agenda. Y'all don't know what y'all are doing, and y'all want to keep it like that. Y'all want to keep this a Democratic stronghold. Y'all want to not put the money out on real candidates that are going to do well, and you think that it's going to this is going to happen again. No, we will call out the bullshit. We will call out the established Republicans. We will call out the rhinos. We'll call it. I don't fuck with Chuck Hernandez at all. He knows that. You understand? I don't fuck with none of these people. And I do it on purpose because at the end of the day, I don't want to be associated, especially with niggas who's okay with writing letters on behalf of pedophiles, and then you sponsoring trips to Colorado, and clearly this nigga got a fetish for 14-year-old girls, but it doesn't really matter because he worked for Morrison Security. But you out here on the Cook County Board of Commissioners as a Republican, the one Republican on there. So it really doesn't matter. You and Samantha Steele clearly the same person. So this is just what this city, this county, this state is so fucking corrupt. You know what I'm saying? So everybody is on some bullshit, been on some bullshit that's currently in office. So I wish a motherfucker would bring up anything about I did 5 years, 10 years ago. I haven't, that shit, all any of that shit is in the past. You guys are legit criminals. Y'all don't care about anybody. Y'all weird when it comes to kids, like super weird when it comes to fucking kids. Y'all don't care about seniors. Y'all ain't shit. So at the end of the day, it's time just to remove all you weirdos up out of office. It will happen. And anybody that tries to stop me, you will, I promise you, I'll do PowerPoints on how fucked up you are, and it'll go down to your wife, your children, your grandparents, I'll go to ancestry.com and I'll put the whole fucking family out here. If anybody tries to get in my way trying to fix this motherfucking fucked up city, because y'all done fucked it up with these fucking weirdos, and that's just what it is. Okay, everybody is a fucking sellout. Motherfucking know this about this person, this about this person, this about that person, this about this person. None of y'all don't have no solutions. Y'all done sold y'all done sold out grandparents' homes. Y'all done knocked down buildings. Y'all done had sex with children. Y'all done drunk drive and still up in there. Y'all weird, don't know, took the oath, sharing babies. Y'all just weird. Y'all just one big weird freak fest, and just established and just lie. All y'all do is lie and our tax dollars are paying for the bullshit. So it's enough is the fucking enough. Okay, y'all all fucking weird as hell. Ain't no fucking grifters, all that Chuck Hernandez. Fuck Chuck Hernandez. Gonna talk about something. Yeah, we're Chicago Fifth Red grifters. Nah, Chicago Fifth Red is a real organization that saw the bullshit. Just like we see the bullshit in all of this. Just like I see the bullshit in this nigga right here, Sean Morrison and the rest. And anybody that's associated with this weird ass nigga is weird, and that's just what it is. So I don't associate with these people. I don't associate with the Illinois GOP. I don't associate with the Cook County GOP or the Chicago Republicans because they all are the same. Racist, all that stuff, weird, sellouts, will act like they all for the against Chicago, against the Democrats. They all play in the same circle. They all do the same thing, all rock with the same people. They ain't about their life. They're not about their Republican life. They're not about to make the change in the city. They don't care about the kids. They don't care about, because they steal. They all steal. They all getting money out of something. And these nonprofits that have to do with these children and shit, y'all running human trafficking and child trafficking things under the disguise of the family court. You got Timothy Evans ahead on the shit. You got everybody on it. Y'all all weird. Y'all all weird. So I'm trying to tell you, it's just weird. So yeah, I'm gonna end it with that. Any questions? Thank y'all for watching. Peace.